Hi everyone, thank you so much for clicking on my link and welcome to my channel. My channel is going to be mostly about my journey as a bullet journaler. I started bullet journaling this year and I loved it so much. I've looked at a lot of the other people online who do bullet journals for my inspiration, so I thought I would share some of what I'm doing and how I'm using my bullet journal so maybe other people can be inspired. I'm starting this new bullet journal in the month of June because I previously had a different bullet journal. It was an A5, and this is it. It was an A5, and as I was using it for the past few months, I realized that it was too small for my needs. So I decided to get a bigger one. So this new one is a B5. So I'm going to go through my spread in setting up the bullet journal for the month of June. As you can see, unlike most other bullet journalers, I do not have a year at a glance, and the reason for that is because for me, I had that in my old journal and I realized that I was not using it at all. It was just like taking up space, so I decided to just like not have it at all. Instead, I have this spread, this 2-page spread where I can just like post in anything. Like if I want to draw, I want to doodle or anything like that, I have like a spread where I can go and do that. And I also use this particular page to count out the dots to see how many I had horizontally and how many of them I had vertically. So my next page is my title page for the month of June. So as you can see, I wrote down June, and then I like to have a piece of biblical quote or biblical verse on my title page. For this month, I picked Psalm 119, verse 105, light onto my path. I didn't write the whole thing out. I just wrote like the key things that I wanted to remember for that. Next to my title page is my calendar. So I use my calendar mostly to track my academic work, which is why I have it right next to my academic work. That's the only thing I put in my calendar here. And so I will have like my assignments written down on my calendar, and then I will list them down here. And usually as I go through my weeks, I come back and I check off like whether or not I finished that assignment. This space is empty because I still have to register for 2 classes. So I take online courses, and I'm registering for 2 extra classes that are going to be starting this 3rd week of June. Once I've registered for those 2 classes and I have my syllabus, I will be able to write down like the assignments that are due for those 2 classes. This is my focus page. It's the page that I usually sit down and write down like the things that I want to focus on for that month. Usually I have personal, spiritual, and work, but when I was designing this one, I had a little bit of extra space, so I decided to leave this place where I can be able to write the books that I'm reading. I know I read a lot. I probably read about like 6 or 7 books a month, sometimes even more, but mostly I read like novels. So I wanted to like track and also like challenge myself to start reading books that are not novels. They can be fictional, non-fictional, as long as they're not the kind of books that I usually read. So those are books I'm going to keep a track of them over here. And so I put this little paper here because I didn't want to show you what I was doing for my personal and spiritual work, but basically this is how it is. I did a little bit of a doodle here, and I put a couple of stickers on there. On this other page, I am using this to track my sleep and my productivity. So the green part is sleep, the gray is work, and the purple is school. And as you can see, I've already started tracking that for the 1st week of June. This one here is my 1st week and 2nd week spreads. So I tried out different spreads in my other notebook, in my other bullet journal, and I like this. I liked being able to see everything on one page, so I decided to try this one. And so I have here my little calendar to let me know like what date it is, what week it is, and then I write here the assignments that I have due and what date they are due on. And I do this because I realized in my previous months that when I put the assignments on the day they were due, I will like wait until the last minute to work on them versus if I like put them in here, I know when they're due and then I can plug them in depending on when I have time. So for instance, right now you can see that this assignment F1 response is due on the 7th, but I decided to work on it on the 5th and on the 6th. So that's how I'm going to be using it. And then this is the second week. I want to show you the second week because I made the mistake in the second week and had put in the calendar for July. So instead of just like going ahead and ripping out the piece of paper, instead I cut out a small piece of paper from my previous bullet journal and I taped it in here using washi tape. And I think it looks pretty good. So then this is going to be my second week.